My name is Walaa. I am a mother from Gaza. Before the darkness came, my life was full of light. I was a tour guide. I loved my work. I showed people the beauty of my land. Its ancient stones whispered stories. Its olive trees stood tall and proud. My family was my heart. My childs are my eye's sight. Their voices were the sweetest music. My father was my life coach. We had a small house. The walls echoed with stories and dreams. It was filled with warmth and the scent of my mother's recipes. We were rich in love. We had enough. We had each other. Our garden bloomed with jasmine. Its fragrance was a promise of peace. This was our Gaza, a place of community, of shared meals and celebrations. Every morning, the sun would peek through our window. It was a golden promise, a promise of a new day. Then the sky changed. It was as if the heavens themselves were forewarning us of the chaos to come. It was no longer a canvas of blue and gold, a serene expanse that promised peace and tranquility. It became a canvas of smoke and fire. The war began. It came suddenly without warning, like a thief in the night. Like a cruel storm that no one expected, it swept through our lives, leaving destruction in its wake. I was away on a work trip, far from home, unaware of the impending doom. I was showing a group the ancient wonders of a nearby land, marveling at the history that had withstood the test of time. My thoughts were with my family, as they always were. I missed them dearly, counting the days until I could return. I planned to call them that evening, to hear their voices, to share my experiences, and to feel connected despite the distance, to tell them I would be home soon, to reassure them that I was safe and thinking of them. I did not know it would be the last time our world was whole, the last moment of peace before everything shattered. The news reached me like a cold blade, a missile, a single devastating missile. It had struck our street, our home, our sanctuary, our home. My heart stopped. The world as I knew it crumbled in an instant. The world went silent around me. Everything seemed to blur, as if reality itself was rejecting the horror. Only a deafening roar filled my head, drowning out all other thoughts and sounds. My home, my Ahmed, my children, were they safe? I tried to call, again and again. The lines were dead. Panic set in. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through me. It was a fear that gripped my very soul. It was a fear I had never known, a fear that was all-consuming, a fear that threatened to swallow me whole, to drown me in its depths. The ancient stones I stood amongst suddenly felt like tombs, silent witnesses to the tragedy unfolding. Days turned into nights of frantic waiting, each moment stretching into an eternity of uncertainty and dread. I was stranded, alone in a foreign land with no way to return to my family. The borders to Gaza slammed shut, sealing me off from my home. Like a heavy iron door, it felt impenetrable. I was in Egypt, just across the border. So close, yet a world away from my remaining children. The distance felt insurmountable. From the ruins of my life, everything I knew was crumbling. I was a tour guide who had lost her way. A mother separated from her flock. A mother separated from her flock. My heart ached with every passing moment. The feeling of helplessness was a relentless tide crashing over me. It pulled me under again and again, leaving me gasping for hope. I could see the news, the images of destruction, of suffering. My Gaza was bleeding and I was powerless, and I could do nothing but watch from afar, my heart breaking with each update. Each report was a fresh wound. My surviving children, my precious ones, were they safe? Were they hungry? Were they scared? These questions tormented me. These questions haunted my waking hours. They invaded my dreams, turning them into nightmares. I tried every possible way to get information, to send a message, to hear their voices, but it was never enough. Aid workers became my only lifeline. Their messages were infrequent, but they were all I had. Precious drops of water in a vast desert of uncertainty, each one a glimmer of hope. They told me my remaining children were alive, for now, but they were displaced, frightened, living in fear, living in conditions I could not bear to imagine, conditions no child should endure. Intense, under a sky that no longer felt friendly, their world had turned hostile. The nights were the hardest, Sleep offered no escape, only nightmares filled with the faces of my children. The grief was a heavy shadow. It clung to me. It seeped into my bones. It made my body weak. Stress and sorrow took their toll. I started to feel unwell, a persistent cough, a fever that would not break. My body, which had carried me through so many journeys, began to fail me. It was as if the sorrow was poisoning me from within. I, who had always been strong and independent, now struggled to perform simple tasks. The vibrant energy I once had was dimming, like a candle in a harsh wind. Finding medical help in a foreign land was not easy. I was a displaced person, a woman from Gaza. My resources were few. The clinics were overwhelmed. The doctors were kind, but they had so many to care for. They told me I was very sick, that I needed specialized treatment that was hard to find, hard to afford. The fear for my own life mingled with the fear for my children. If I died, who would fight for them? Even in the deepest darkness, a tiny light can flicker. Sometimes a message would get through from Gaza, a broken sentence from an aid worker. Your children are asking for you. They are together. These small words were like tiny seeds of hope. They landed in the barren soil of my despair, and I nurtured them. I held onto them with all my might. They reminded me why I had to keep fighting, why I could not give up. My children were alive. They needed their mother. There were moments, brief and fleeting, when the world seemed to pause its cruelty. A temporary ceasefire was announced once. For a few days the bombs stopped, a fragile quiet descended. It was not peace, but it was a breath, a chance for aid to reach those in need. During those days my hope would surge. Maybe the borders would open. Maybe I could find a way back, or a way to bring my children out. But then the fighting would resume. The door would slam shut again. My children, my heart aches for them. Their names are a constant prayer on my lips. Omar, Layla, Yusuf. I see their faces in my dreams. I hear their laughter in the wind. They are young. They have already seen too much pain, too much loss. They have lost their father, their home, their childhood. Now they are without their mother. This separation is an agony, a wound that never heals. I am their mother. My place is with them, to comfort them, to protect them, to tell them that they are loved beyond measure. I am fighting for my life here. I am fighting this illness that weakens my body, but my true fight is for them, to be reunited with them. Every breath I take is for them. Every bit of strength I can find is for them. I need help. I cannot do this alone. Despite all the sorrow, all the pain, a thread remains. It is a delicate thread, but it is there, holding on through the darkest of times. It is the thread of a mother's love, a love that knows no bounds, that transcends all barriers. It is the thread of hope. It is thin, yes, it is frayed, but it is resilient, like the new shoots that push through the soil, but it is not broken. It binds us together, like a bridge over troubled waters. This thread connects me to my children, across the distance, across the borders, across the silence. It is an unbreakable bond. It is this thread that keeps me going. It gives me the strength to move forward, to keep fighting. It whispers to me in the darkest nights, "Do not give up." It is a voice that echoes in the silence, urging me to hold on. They are waiting for you. You are their mother. You are their hope. Their laughter and joy depend on you. I dream of a day when I can hold my children again, when I can feel their warmth and hear their voices, when I can feel their small hands in mine, when I can hold them close and never let go, when I can wipe away their tears, when I can comfort them and tell them everything will be all right, and tell them that the nightmare is over, that we are safe and we can start anew. I dream of a small, safe place, a place where we can find peace and security, where we can begin to heal, where we can rebuild our lives and our spirits, where we can plant a new garden, perhaps with jasmine again, a symbol of new beginnings and hope, a place where laughter can return, where joy can fill the air once more, where stories can be told, stories of resilience, of survival, of love. Not of war and loss, but of hope and renewal, but of resilience and love. A love that has endured and will continue to endure. This dream is my North Star. It is the light that guides me through the darkest times. It guides me through the storm. It is the beacon that leads me to a brighter future.